All right. Hey friends, catching the replay. This is a really annoying part where I got to set up and we wait for the live friends to come on. So bear with me here for a second. Just letting everybody know. Instagram says that I've started a live video. Cool. Hello, Emma, Jeff, and Shelly, Amanda. Hey guys, come on in. A couple of our friends join us. I have a few things that I want to chat about, and I see so many of you coming on are signed up for the energy healing certification, the whole gamut, the course and the training, or just the course. So I'm excited for that. I have been working really hard. The course goes live this Friday. So those signed up for the training, you'll have 2 weeks to listen to the course and you'll have enough time. And if you don't get it all done, it doesn't expire. You get to go back to it. But then that way you'll have it really, really fresh. We played with a timeline, but that's just what's going to be best for everyone. And I'm so excited to be offering this course. As I'm like speaking it, it's crazy. I like open my mouth and like the spirit comes out of my mouth. And Jeff is saying like, you've been in there talking to a wall for like 3 days. And I literally could just talk to a wall because when I open my mouth, when it's with an intention of helping others, the spirit just flies right out. It's been a lot of fun. Watching Hocus Pocus with my stepdaughter, but so glad to see this alert pop up. Tis the season for the Hocus Pocus. So yes, if you are thinking about joining us for the training or just the course, one or both, let me know. It's on my website under energy healing. You definitely want to check it out. I've never birthed something that I'm this excited about, as you probably can tell. But today, most importantly, 2 topics, and I'll just preface so maybe you can tune in and see, does this resonate with me? How does my body feel about listening? You can catch one, you can catch both. I want to talk about when it's not your energy and what to do when bad things happen to people who just were having a good day. And a lot of you know what I'm talking about if you saw my stories over the weekend. And then I want to talk about something that, trigger warning, and stay with me here in a second because the purpose is to offer support to those who do feel really triggered by the subject of suicide. And I've had a lot of questions and just people write in about, what do you do if you've lost a loved one, or how do you see it, or what happens to their soul? And so we'll get into all that. But check out the course on the website, released this Friday. Join us for the training, the certification, and then let's get into what happens when it's not your energy. So this weekend, I had something happen to me that really had me, I'm laughing because like as Jeff and I are like discussing it and debriefing it, and said, he's like, you should probably talk about this on your live tomorrow. And at the time I was like, no, I already have something else planned. I was like so pissy and like just overwhelmed with the energy, but it's really perfect. I talked about it this morning in the yoga class and we worked through it, and literally it's like illuminated it's like all of these lessons into one compact thing. So we were parked at the Renaissance Festival yesterday, and Jeff was so excited to go. I was excited because he was excited, and we took some family with us, and it was like, let me scoot this back a little bit. In retrospect, it was a lot of fun, and it just was like a Saturday where you could get up early. We like skipped the gym. We were going to do all these fun things, and just like the Saturdays that we live for. And we were in the festival and having a lot of fun, and we came back out to grab some drinks from the car and sat in and cooled off and went back in for a couple hours. And when we came out to leave, we were getting in my Bronco and I like screamed. Like I just saw this huge slash down my Bronco window I have a soft top. So it just like they took a knife to it in 2 different places. And I was so upset. Like I just felt, it was like someone did that to my own body, and I couldn't believe it. And I could just hear the spirit being like, don't sink, Jen, don't sink. We did have such a good day. We had such a good day. And I was like, I don't want this to ruin it. So we get on the phone with my mother-in-law, who's our insurance agent, and she's like the best of help and giving us direction. And Jeff was talking to her. And I just got this feeling that, hey, like the universe is going to take care of this. It's an annoying bigger amount of money that you're gonna have to pay to get this fixed when it wasn't your fault. And I just felt like that impression of just something's gonna come through to take care of this for you. And then another revelation, our friend that was with us was like, is my bag still in the car? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I left my wallet and my laptop in the car in a soft top because I thought it was a good idea. Actually, I wasn't thinking was part of the problem. And I just don't ever assume, the thought never crossed my mind that someone would break into my car because it's not something that I would typically do. So it was a really nice, soft lesson, I would say, from the universe that my laptop and my wallet were still there when I lifted up my jacket and looked to see if my bag was still there and everything, and felt so incredibly blessed. So we get in the car, I'm driving to our next destination, and I check my email, and in my email it says, you have a new purchase, and one of you had pre-purchased, and one of you, I don't know if she's listening to this, I actually don't know her, but someone in this community had purchased the Energy Healing Certification course, which covers about, or maybe it was the Functional Medicine for Nurses course. Either way, covered about 1/3 to 1/2 of the repair. And I just was like, yeah, like it's all good. And then later in the evening, I was typing on my story to tell you all about it and talk about how I just was like, I'm going to hold abundance. And I'm going to hold light, and I'm literally not going to let this energy that is not mine in my field, though, orbiting around me all over my Bronco. I'm not going to let it in my body. I'm not going to let it sink in. And a little bit did, because I'm a human and I have an energy field and I'm highly sensitive and I have an open energy field, and it sunk in. And so Jeff and I were talking about it, and what was really interesting, and of course when I get energy in my field that's not mine and get stressed and get upset, and he gets energy in his field that's not his and stressed and upset, what starts to happen, we start to go at each other, right? So we're just kind of like bickering, and he said he brought up something about resistance. I don't even remember what it was. And I said, yeah. Oh, he was talking about how his Jeep, he had to drive his Jeep just through his brand new Jeep and my brand new Bronco, we got our cars around the same time, through the woods to save our dog when we were out of town this spring. And I said, you know what's funny? I felt the same resistance about going to that trip, but I booked it anyways and pushed myself through it and said, we just need to do this, as I did about going today. And when we were, yes, Jeff, to save Maya's life, when we were it was kind of Friday night into Saturday morning, I was like, Jeff was so excited to go, and he was in such a good, hilarious mood that I didn't want to say anything. And I really loved how much joy it was bringing him, but I felt such a resistance to going. Now, I don't know what would have happened if I would have listened to that, if it, whatever. Point being, lots of lessons here. We could spend 2 hours on this, but we won't. When energy's not yours, stay above the frequency. Listen to what the spirit is trying to tell you. It was like, Jen, don't sink. There's going to be something that comes through that helps you out to pay for this. And on top of that, when I was writing in my story to tell you guys about this, our friend was like, oh my gosh, look how many steps I had today. And it was 3, 3, 3, 3, like repeating numbers of 3. And that's a lot of protection to me. And I was writing the part about my laptop and my wallet not being stolen. And I'm like, yeah. Of course, this was the biggest soft lesson and blessing, because I learned yesterday that I can lock things. I literally didn't know this. Please don't judge me. I literally didn't know that you could lock your laptop in your wallet, in your glove box and console. I didn't even know. I didn't see that my Bronco had those options. And so when something really shitty happens to you, just think about what's at play. And I have a feeling that when I take my Bronco in to get fixed for this, there's going to be some important exchange between me and someone that I'll see there. I just have a feeling. I'll update you guys. It'll probably be a couple weeks. In the meanwhile, it's just going to be duct taped a little bit. And that's okay. And I'm not going to keep anything valuable in there, but I felt protected, covered, blessed. I pulled some cards about it, and it was just peace and harmony. And then it was showing me, though, in my energy healing sessions, and I had, I'll get to the comments here in a second. I had an energy healing session and massage this week, and both times it was carrying stuff that's not yours, and like daggers in my back. And I don't feel like a victim to anything. Like, I don't feel like anyone's coming at me. But that was the first thing that came to my mind, was like, is someone just mad at me that they did this? Because they didn't get in, and we don't know what happened. Did they try to break in and couldn't, or were they just being jerks and like wanting to tear up a soft top? I don't know. But that energy, I took a big Epsom salt bath, like literally a bucket of Epsom salt, poured the whole thing in last night, and I could just feel that energy that's not mine. Woke up this morning, could still feel some of it. And so many of us carry around this heaviness and this density, thinking like something's wrong with us, and it's not even ours. So, okay, let me get caught up on these comments. This has been the theme for my weekend, not absorbing the negativity set my way. And the planets, I know right now I don't know enough about astrology to give y'all a lesson, but I know enough to know it's a thing, that the planets are doing crazy things. So check in with your latest astrologer on that. All right. People know I'm a huge nerd. Yes, you are, Jeff. Thank you for the confirmation. Don't worry, Jeff. I made a bet with Kevin, and he has to wear man tighten pants to Renfest. Men in tight pants to Renfest. Oh, yes. The Renaissance Festival is a really whimsical experience. We went when you're little. Dude, I love Renfest. No need judgments. And here's another thing. When we were there, I was feeling my energy. This is nothing about the people that choose to go to Renfest, because Emma, I freaking adore you, and you went the weekend before us, and I would be delighted to see you there. But just in that crowd of energy, I was feeling so tired and so drained, even though we were having fun. And I'm like, what in the world? Again, like, not ours. And I think when we understand energy, and when we understand what's not ours, and we understand our bodies, then we don't have to do anything from thinking something's wrong with our body and thinking our body's attacking itself, and that we're depressed and we have a chemical imbalance and something's wrong with us. There's just a lot of narratives around this that if we simply understand energy, we understand what's trying to get through our body, it saves us a lot of trouble. The energy was tough. Did you feel it? You didn't make it more than 2 hours. I have been dealing with some of that heaviness and it all not being mine. Even in the first. Yeah. And we'll work with that. Here at the end, I'll just guide us through a little bit of a checkpoint, a check-in, where the spirit can come in and just show us like what's not ours. I'm having a lot of like business stuff go on lately, and so much of this, even though I'm pretty sure of the path that's right for me and to go down, so much of the energy that's not mine involved in all of these different relationships and transactions like is so heavy, and it's like draining me and killing me, and I'm like, it's not me. And so an older part of Jen, former part of Jen, could have been like, oh, I need to eat more raw foods, or something's wrong with my body, or I should check my thyroid for the 5th time this month, or blah, 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 blah. But when we understand energy, and we're 50% energy and 50% physical being, things start to make more sense. Yeah, I never realized how much all that energy affects me in places like that too. Jeff said something really good to me when we were there, and I was like, I don't mean to like pass judgment or criticism on the people here. He's like, they're like smoking and eating fast food and like just kind of a different vibration. He's like, but don't let it in. And he does such a great job of, Jeff is sensitive and he's an empath, but he like has this way of, I don't know how he does it. I'm learning from him of like not letting it in. And that's where I really, really struggle. I struggled. I was so excited and felt so tired. Yeah, it was crazy town, but it was fun. Okay. I want to get to something else, but the last point just ringing through me is pay attention to resistance when you feel resistance to going somewhere or doing something. Some of it can be our ego trying to keep us safe. Absolutely. And a lot of times it is. And some of it can be our intuition just shielding us. Jeff and I would have perfectly intact cars if Jen would have listened to the resistance, because we wouldn't have gone on that camping trip. Maya wouldn't have been bit by a copperhead. Jeff wouldn't have had to drive through the woods because there was a tree down in the middle of the road to save her life. And I would have a Bronco intact. Maybe. I don't know. Could have happened somewhere else. So, yes, teach us your ways, Jeff. We're going to have a special Chef Jeff. He actually is cooking right now. edition where he comes on and teaches us all his ways. But I want to talk about when someone takes their life. Kind of an abrupt shift, but it does feel important, and in my spirit, like, we need to talk about both of these things. So when it comes to heaviness, I know 2 of you have asked about this week that are on here and catching the replay. So when it's not your energy, when you're feeling upset, these are things that are wanting to be shaken and sifted out of us, and we didn't do anything wrong. We're not necessarily out of alignment. Even if we didn't feel resistance to going, we can still be there, and that thing could have been meant to happen to serve us for our greater good. And that's going to just transition us into when someone we love takes their life, or when we're considering what that would look like. So when we are dealing with energy, whether it's ours, not ours, kind of not ours, from family members, through trauma that we've been through, when energy is moving through our body, it feels like we could want to die to experience it. And this will get a little bit easier. Just hang out with me. If you're feeling heavy as I'm talking about this, you probably want to hear the end of this. So if we've ever thought about that, or we know someone who's questioning their life here on earth, a lot of times there's a huge block in between them and the energy that's wanting to move up and through them. And it does feel like you want to absolutely not be here when you have to experience that. It's some of the energies that I've had move through me. I can think of 2 instances in my life. In my journal, I can pull out these journals, and I remember writing, like, God, I don't really want to be here, but I know you want me to stay. And I'm so glad I'm here. And I was moving through something really, really intense at the time. And I remember that feeling. And then I've also sat with people in sessions and in the office that have told me that they're struggling with this, and they've had multiple attempts or times. And our medical system does us a disservice to not talk about energy and tell us that we have a chemical imbalance, or tell us that, this could be something genetic, or it's most of the time it is energy. However, I lost someone that was dear to me not too long ago, and they have taught me so much. They've been coming to me and teaching me about their life, and on paper, literally, this person's crossing over was an accident, but they've showed me in their soul form that it wasn't an accident. And I knew this person pretty well, and they had worked with me in functional medicine, and they had told me when they got out of the military that there weren't a lot of resources and there weren't a lot of support, and that they struggled with their mental health. And they said that, I tried the Zoloft and I just threw it out. I didn't feel like it was helping. They had done plant medicine. And what's really interesting to me is they had done plant medicine and met God, source consciousness before. They didn't have a faith base. In fact, they identified as atheist before any of these ideations came up, right? So they had done plant medicine. They had found God consciousness, and they still, in their crossed over state, told me that they felt this calling home, and that is the way they've put it. So they told me, so when we were growing up, they knew that they were called to the military, and it wasn't until after that they died, and this person told me in their spirit form, I always thought I was actually going to pass in the military. I always knew that, they even said, this is why I never had super serious relationships, and all of these things that were very true about their life. I always knew I was going to go. I never saw myself I just felt this calling on me, and they wrestled with it and they grappled with it, and they didn't really live depressed or in this energy until I can look at pictures about a couple weeks before they left, and they just looked sad and heavy, even though they were having some of the best experiences of their life. And so there's a dichotomy. There's, if we're experiencing or feeling ideation on this side, when we're feeling, so think about energy moving through your body, right? That is what I want you to focus on. If you're on the other side, And please seek professional help. I'm not a professional on this area. I can see you as a nurse practitioner, but seeing someone who specializes here and can get you the therapy that you need is so, so important. So see yourself as energetic, even if your medical professionals or other mental health professionals are not telling you it's energetic. And then on the other side, if you've lost someone to taking their own life, please know, and let me ask you this question, and this is what my friend has left me with: is death a defeat? Like, did you lose? Like, they're like, is it wrong? Is it a defeat? Like, when we feel like we've poured into this person, and in my situation, this person had not told anyone, been talking about it. They set it up, their crossing, to look like an accident, because a lot of their people don't know. And there's a couple of us in relationship with this person that are highly intuitive, that have come together and actually revealed what we've been feeling. And it's a lot to carry, and I can talk about that another time. But they've just said, is death a defeat? Like, is it, like, have you guys lost? Like, are you defeated? And it feels like the encouragement. And my friend has expressed their calling home. Always thought that they would go. And their mom, actually, when I saw their mom not too long ago, she was telling me about a dream. And she said, they came to me in this dream, and there was this beautiful, like, gallant horse, and they got up on the horse, and the horse just carried them away. And they were saying, like, this is the horse of death. And she is not, of course, seeing this in the same light. She feels that they're, like, that this person was taken from her life, and it was done abruptly, and it was an accident, and if they could just go back. And I've written letters, and I feel some of you kind of asking, so we'll talk about it. Let me know if you have any questions. If this is resonating, you want to go personal, I'll talk about it with you. But they're like this, they came to me in a dream, and they showed me that it was just this swift ride, like, really off into heaven. And can it be a calling home instead of something that we feel like we're defeated, especially as medical professionals or mental health professionals or family and friends of this person? Again, a lot of us didn't know that this person was even planning or trying until after the fact. And they are completely at peace with it. And just the message that my friend has left me is, I was called home, and I've always known. I just didn't know when, and I thought it would happen in the military. So the question for two of you who've reached out about this is death a defeat? And I think there's a lot of faith and religious sectors that talk about the soul of this person. Like, the soul of this person what will happen to it, and if they made that choice. And the soul that I've connected with that made this choice is having a grand old time and is coming. They interact with me more than any other soul I've ever had interact, and it's often, and it's common, and they're good. So I know that will bring someone peace today and help you to just understand that every person's calling is different. And actually, we got our palms read at the Renaissance Festival. She was actually really good. And we kind of did it just to have some fun. And she was saying that there's, souls we have free will, and we'll choose, like, oh, we kind of want to be here longer. Like, that sounds fun. And we'll sign up for a little bit longer on our journey. So if you've had experience with someone who has been through this, just know that you've probably done everything that you can, and you don't have to carry what's not yours when that was between them and God. So let me catch up on the comments, and then let me know what questions you all have, what you guys need. I want to have us check in with our breath and what's ours and what's not ours, and see that today. And then if anyone has any questions, if you need a reading for yourself, anything, put it in the comments, or you can always come on screen, but I know that can be kind of scary if you're still in your pajamas. The person I know never seemed depressed until after they retired. Well, yes, I understand that. You know what? I'm getting the pull to read you this poem that my friend wrote through me when they wrote letters to their family. Let me find it here. It's on my computer. And here's what I just feel with the person that that retired. One, it could be they felt like a sense of purposelessness. I've seen this in family members after they retired. And then two, what if their soul mission was like checkpoint done? I don't know. I don't know that, and that's not something that I'm confirming or denying in my senses. But what if they were like, yeah, I did it. I came here, I did what I needed to do, and it was my time. I don't want to at all promote or encourage this ideation, but I think there's a heaviness and a grief that the loved ones of the person who's crossed over in this way carry, that is saying that you could have done something different. And I don't think that's true at all. At all. My shoulders are so tight right now it's tune into that. Maybe like, how is it triggering you? What is it bringing up? It's, for a long time I heard in religion that if your soul left in this way, that it wasn't a good thing. And I would always get so sick and my throat would get so tight because I'm like, to me, that was not my truth. And I'm sharing what is my truth with you now. I'll see a lot of you're saying, yeah, I'm super tense too. My elbow where I get eczema from stress just started itching, and I have some already on my hand. This topic is so rough, but I needed this. It's been a rough week and it's triggered my own experience of loss. Yeah, that's what we all think. They felt purposeless and isolated. I'm totally sobbing. Oh, you were so held. This is a tough one, and this won't be necessarily a popular and good feeling replay, but we'll all be affected by loss in some way. My friend, as they left, and it's funny that this is, it's not funny, it's ironic that this is coming up because it's an anniversary of this person's crossing around this time, and they, at the 2 weeks before their funeral, at the anniversary around this time, they were showing me how they were there, and they were showing me where I was standing and where they were standing and how they were just present with all of us. And I got up to speak at their funeral, and it was the exact scene. I had never been in this funeral home, in this room, and it was like everything that they had showed me. They're like, I'm here, I'm good. So I don't know how my friend would have explained it any other way. I don't know that they, in my sense, what they have told me is I never told anyone because there was nothing wrong. It was time for me to go home. But I don't think that's, for everyone. Again, I go back to when we're moving energy through our body, it definitely feels like that. Okay. I was casually dating someone back in 2014 when they suddenly took their own life. I was frustrated with him at the time, and he didn't leave with us on good terms. This happened to me in 2017 also. Wow, another person. Okay. The couple of you that are commenting, are you comfortable? Do you want us to connect with these energies, these spirits? Because I'd be happy to do it with their soul. I think the weight of my action leading up to that time weighs on me. I don't blame myself, but I do wish I could have been more supportive during that had I known what else he was dealing with. I felt that 100%. I was going back through our voice clips, and I saw them for their health, and I'm like, oh my God. And I was felt super sick when I found out, and I didn't know. Right when I found out, they hadn't come in and told me everything that they had told me about their. Okay, we'll connect. So let me read you this poem. Change of plans. Check in, do your hygiene tonight. If you're carrying something that's not yours, we can go through that next week if you need it. Sounds like there's something more pressing. Let me read you this poem that my friend wrote through me that was left in the letters to their loved ones. I went so you could see, earth is my temporary home. Universal love is within you. Kindness is all we have. I went so that you could see, war does not have to be the answer. Forgiveness heals all wounds. You are gifted beyond measure. I went so that you could see, you never lose someone. You learn to connect in a new way. The divine plan is greater, higher. Tragedy brings families together. I went so that you could see I loved you too much to stay. And there's pieces, every single line of that speaks to like someone different in their letters. And it's just so beautiful. The two things that stand out: you never lose someone, you learn to connect with them in a new way. I went so that you could see I loved you too much to stay. Okay, we're going to connect. If you're getting a headache, if you're getting physical symptoms, a lot of times when I'm connecting with their spirit or any spirit, I start to get a headache or I start to feel kind of achy. Actually, when this person crossed over, I was so upset and so blocked in I was mad at them and angry. I was like, what? Thanks. That's how I felt. And like, your family, and my body felt like autoimmune all over again. Emma, your throat is closing up because they want to speak through you. I guarantee it. Yeah, I have a headache right now. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Let's connect. And then those of you who are on after this and either need help or want to come on, and we'll just do this, okay? All right. So settle into your body. I want you to feel gravity. Ooh. If you're nauseous, it's okay. Some of us have been carrying and holding this for a long time. I'm just going to call on my friend and ask them for their help with us. Just feel safe in your body for a moment. Feel your sits bones on the floor. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel your heart stacked over your pelvis. Feel your breath. Feel gravity. Feel gravity grounding you down, pulling you in. You're here securely, safely on the earth. As you take a deep breath in, open up the crown of your head. Take 2 more breaths, thinking of this ring around your head, opening up a little bit more. And Emma, you're going to start getting a few things. So if you just want to start typing in the comments, if you need to express these, go ahead. Okay. I can imagine a front door on your heart. You're going to feel tears. This is going to be a lot, but I promise you, you're going to feel better after this. You can feel a knock on that front door. If you're willing, open the door to peek and see who's there. You can see if their soul, their spirit shows you a little reminder about them. So if there's a Jack here, you'll have to let me know if anyone connects with that name, Jack, if anyone can take that. Or if it's a relative of theirs. Focusing on your experience. Just give a few moments, a few breaths for any imagery or words to come through this front door. It's going to come into your heart. It can take over your body. Just let it seep into your body for right now. You might start to shake or tremble. This is really high frequency. You might get nauseous. I want you to imagine all of us in a circle. The group that is here now, we're sitting side by side, linking arms. I can see every single one of you. And these souls are coming to join us in the middle of the circle. And you can see these souls and maybe a dog joining us. Thank you, Emma. If your body's getting hot or flushed, that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. There's our Jack. Don't worry, this collective, they're all saying this. They're going to stay with you, so don't put pressure on yourself right now to get all the answers. We're going to have 24-ish hour window with them, where they're just going to ebb and flow out of your consciousness. I want you to ask right now the sign in your body when they're here, when they're wanting to communicate. Ask them to show you that sign. Ask them to use that sign. And then ask them the first piece, just the next little bit of information they want to give you today. And I want you to write it in the comments as your notebook. And then share. So go ahead and write that down. So as you're writing, maybe the body sign that they gave you, or message, or any little bit, put it in the comments, hit send. We're going to go through some of this that Emma's been doing for us. And if you can take any of it, Emma and I will come on and do a reading for you guys. It's okay if you can't, because you're going to get your own information from them. As you're writing, if you want to come on and either share or have me guide you individually and have Emma and I help connect for you, put it in the comments or hit request to join. The mother is the person I know. So Emma put, there's a mother here. She's saying, I am okay. Wow. She took my hand and happily laughed. It was never meant to hurt anyone. She radiates joy. Yeah, this is that mother that Emma's saying. This makes me so happy, by the way, seeing all of us support one another. Carly, what did your grandpa want to say? And the man carried a lot. The man, Emma, that you were connecting with. I might bring you on here in a second. Actually, Emma, are you in a place? Let me know if you can hop on if you want to share some of this, or if you want to keep typing, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Allison said to Emma, that is what everyone who talks about her says. She was kindness and joyful. And the man carried a lot of others' energy, problems, worry. Carly, I feel like there you are. I was like, I feel like you're trying to connect. That all my trauma from his side of the family was meant to be so my generation can clear it. Yeah, you came to be, cool, here comes Emma. You came to be that like light and that relief to like clear it. Like, one thing in medicine is, my nose is getting super itchy. I don't know if anyone else is getting that that connection symptom. You know, they say a lot of things are genetic in our health. Like thyroid disease runs rampant on both sides, but there's familial trauma on both sides of my family of no one being able to speak about what's happening to them. It's crazy. Okay, here comes Emma. I think. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Thanks for hopping on impromptu. Hey,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're cute. My headache is gone. So
Yes.
just talk to us for a second about what you were thank you for doing that while I was guiding, kind of connecting with them. Tell me what you were seeing and experiencing, and then if you can take any of this, like Carly, you're like, yeah, my grandpa's name was Jack, and some of you were talking about like what she's saying is resonating, that the woman that came forward belongs to you. Just let us know, and then if you need some one-on-one guidance and you want to come on, we will just hit request to join, or just put in the comments if you need some support. I'm going to read this last comment.
Yeah.
A friend carried a huge secret burden that took a huge toll on him. My shoulders just feel lighter, but I couldn't really connect or hear him. I'm going to let Emma share, and then Mandy, just let us know if you need some more help and we'll support you. So Emma, what came up when we were doing all that?
Okay, so in the beginning, before we even started the meditation,
Mm-hmm.
I was just seeing this man with he looked Mexican. He looked dark complected, dark hair. As I opened the door, he was kind of like the life of the party.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like I was almost shown another side of him. And it's like I'm hearing Gemini right now. Like, he carried two faces.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a whole lot from him because then the woman came through.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was finishing up after she took my hand, my right side body, like my shoulder, got really warm and tingly. And it was almost as though he kind of put his hand on my shoulder as a confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where I forgot my train of thought with that. Because the woman keeps coming back. She's very, oh my gosh, she's so light and bubbly. Like, I feel like her haircut is standing out to me. I don't know why.
Allison, this is your girl, right?
Yeah,
sure.
I think so. She's just, yeah, I don't know. She had a bigger purpose, I think.
What does she say about when she said it never meant to hurt anyone? Like, what does she like want to say about her departure, and why at this time?
I'm getting the sense that she wanted to exit gracefully so that it didn't cause, because there is such a,
Allison, what's important about her name?
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing a lot of L's. Did her name start with an L? Sometimes names are way off, but
Names are hard.
names are really hard.
You can do it, girl.
But it was like she didn't want, like, her time was up. She didn't want it to be that way. And she wanted it to be more graceful, I think, than maybe the way that it happened. Because she didn't want that overbearing aftermath, kind of, where with that word and the way that it was done. I feel like there was not a remorse feeling, but that it wasn't as bad as everyone thinks it was.
Yeah. I just asked Allison what is significant about her name, and you might just watch for her name to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like she was prominent in the community, and you don't have to say her name by any means.
Right.
Yeah. But maybe watch for it to show up. So, Mandy, how are you doing over there? Maybe you're talking to one of my friend, one of his faces was the life of the party, but the other side was like nobody knew about it until he was gone. I'd love some more help if you ladies are hearing more. Do you want Allison or Mandy or Carly or anyone who's on here, do you want to come on? Mandy, let me know. You've requested help. So in the comments, just say comments or come on, and we'll do either. We'll connect with this guy for you.
Like, he came out of the door carrying like a 30-pack on his shoulder. Like, are you guys ready to party? That's kind of what I got.
Sure, I'll come on. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Allison, Carly, gals who are left, and guys with us, let us know if you guys see anything in the comments. I'll be watching. What's that, Mandy?
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
So I'm like, you like the 30 pack on the shoulder, like that's him. Like, that's so crazy. Because like the first time I met him, like we were at a party, and like those are the first memories I had of him. Just like being like the social butterfly, and everyone loved him. And like we hit it off. Like I'm normally like a really secluded person, and like you kind of have to earn my trust. But like the first night I met him, like we were acquaintances, but like the first night we met each other, like he told me he loved me, which was just so like way out in left field, but we always just had a deeper connection, I feel like. So
What feels
I feel like
unresolved with him?
just like how whenever he left, um, like whenever he took his life, we were kind of arguing, and we were in a place where we weren't really on speaking terms. Like I was frustrated with him and like this lack of like boundary in our relationship. And so I wasn't really speaking to him. Like he was trying to reach out to me and like had been trying to text me for several days, just like, hey, how are you? How's it going? And I was not talking to him. I was just ignoring him. And then, so that was over the period of a weekend. And then that Monday morning, I got a call from his sister-in-law saying that he had taken his life over the weekend. And so that was just really unresolved, that he was like trying to reach out to me in those last few days, and I was unavailable to him.
Emma, I'll let you go.
I feel like it came through really clear and then it like disappeared. I feel like he is really wanting you to release that weight from your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like I feel like it would have happened either way, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
Um,
He come to find out, like after he had taken his life, we found out he actually had a child that he was trying to keep secret from like everyone. And so that was on the verge of coming to light. And that was kind of what prompted, I think, like the sudden decision that he made. But that was like a really big secret that he was carrying. And I had just one of my children at the time, but he did like hang out with me and my child. So I don't know if maybe that was like, I don't know if that maybe affected him in some way, just seeing me being a mom and him knowing that he had a child that he was trying to keep secret and hidden. I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of fear and worthiness coming up for him in this. And I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it has to do with your child. I think that was
Right.
kind of a mirror to him, and he
Mm-hmm.
was questioning things in himself.
I could see
That
that.
my throat's really tight all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
Mandy,
Like,
Mandy, you're gonna be able to write some like of the automated letters with him. Like you guys can communicate.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it's the doorway's open now.
Okay.
And that's it's no coincidence that you're here.
Yeah.
That this is what we're talking about and that all the things. Like it's the doorway's open now to communicate. And it just feels like those who are connected with someone tonight, you're gonna have that 24 hours. They're never gonna go away, but you'll really feel them for 24 hours. So
Okay.
take a little time to like block off something to be with them.
Okay.
and he's also asking for signs, and I'm seeing a lot of yellow. Like he wants you to decide, show me a yellow butterfly when you're around me. That's what he
Okay.
wants you to decide on, something like that,
Okay.
and ask him, and
I'm
he will
seeing
come through to you that way.
I'm seeing like where it says wave, 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 and all these like yellow hands on the
Yes.
Instagram thing. It's like wave, wave, wave. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, you can trust it. Take some time with
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, Allison, we're coming for you. I think Amanda, you can stay on. Okay, she figured it out. Great. Here's what. So you're saying like her name was the same as what was significant about the same as your aunt's. She meant a lot to a lot of people, a second mom to your husband. I guess what feels significant is that I just saw her 2 or 3 weeks before she took her life, and we spoke about doing another gathering. She looked great and seemed so happy. Her internal struggle really threw us for a loop. What I'm receiving, and Emma, I'm excited for you to share. She's saying, don't doubt yourself. Like, I'm not sure what changed it between, but like you felt genuine, like happiness. And sometimes, what my friend is showing me, that people can feel relief and they can feel happy when they know that this is what they've made their decision on. I don't know that to be her case, but don't doubt yourself. Her name, though, like, okay, so it's the same as your aunt's. It's just going to come up in a lot of places. She's going to leave you little clues. You will figure out something here. That's not, Emma, what do you feel that, like, it's not, there's something that's not, like she's just saying, like, what meets the eye here.
Yeah. I don't, all I keep seeing is an image of, like, was she blonde with, I just keep seeing images of her in a white coat, like a doctor's jacket. I don't know what the name of it is, but she said that to me when I saw her.
Like, to trust herself, or what did she say specifically? She was a blonde. Yeah, I can see that.
Sorry, I have a hard time receiving sometimes.
Emma, she might not have a lot for us either. She might
Right.
It feels like Allison's. Don't
Right.
doubt yourself. Yeah, there you go. She's like, trust yourself. Don't doubt it.
Right. She's saying something around, like, the small moments. Like, honor yourself in the small moments, but enjoy the small moments too. Because that's where, like, the love and the joy live.
Allison, with what Emma was saying, did it happen right away, or did she struggle for a little bit? Without getting too gruesome, you don't have to tell us, but was it like it was done when the action was taken, or did it play out over time? A little bit. Struggled.
Almost like this was this a decision that I made? Was there a little bit of regret in it later? If there was a little bit of time that passed, and regret not in doing it, but regret in the way that it happened.
Yeah. The final attempt is her fifth. Was this an isolated incident? Just like this was the only time? Or had she tried before in her life?
So was the fifth, this was the fifth incident? Like, attempt? My head feels very cloudy all of a sudden. I feel like I can't think.
Allison, how about this? Yeah, we'll bring you on. Let's chat for a little bit. What I'm feeling is that, I mean, you're going to be opened up. You've already been uncovering your energetic gifts. But this is really going to open you up in some new ways. Yes.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I was laying back, so now my hair is all crazy.
It's cute. What's up, girl?
Yeah, it was her fifth attempt.
Like, throughout her life? What's that?
In like
the last year. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Have you felt her with you?
Yeah, when I was with the family on Friday and just like last night and some today.
Are you doubting it?
A little bit, yeah. Just 'cause it's like, it's tough.
I'm so sorry that you
It's
went
okay.
through this. I don't, one, for sure, I know that we're never going to have it all figured out on this side of heaven. Like, why and what does this mean? And,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a parallel here of like of her crossing and then you like stepping in. Like, she's here to like be a guide for you.
Hmm.
And of course, I wish she was still here for you. This isn't to diminish like
Right.
how
Yeah.
devastating it is she's not here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just been rough on everybody. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I look like a hot mess.
Is there any like
But
questions
yeah,
that stand out or anything that you feel we could help you with tonight before we close?
um, I guess just like letting her in, just like
Mm-hmm.
advice on that, and just like not letting it weigh me down.
How has your body felt? The like, I get the
Heavy.
sense that she's like pressing up against you, heavy.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I just wake up
Any
heavy.
symptoms?
Just like, yeah, like anxiety. Lot of like,
Mm-hmm.
right, like my heart will race. A lot of that, and just like anger. Yeah.
She has more to say. I would love for you to update me like a week or 24 hours she'll
Yeah.
be with you. It's when my friend passed,
Mhm.
it's crazy to even think about like the anniversary of it, and it hasn't been that long. Feels like a long
Right.
time, but not a long time. And that was like when they started coming to me, that was like the confirmation, like, no, you can connect, Jen. Don't doubt yourself. Like, you can connect with souls on the other side. You're not crazy.
Yeah.
You haven't been making this up. You're not weird. Like, you know, it feels parallel for you. She's like, hey,
Yeah.
you can do this too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've had that with my dad. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of
Yeah.
daunting at first and it feels unfamiliar, but it like also familiar if that even makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just one of those like, whoa, this is weird. And a lot of people don't want to believe it. So then it's like that's
Yeah.
when it gets heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. And people, it's human nature to want to choose pain, and they're not wrong for it. That's just where they're at.
Yeah.
And it's your nature as like a light being to choose like the vibrancy and the lightness.
Oh
So
yeah.
Lauren Lynn Jackson, she's a former, I think like high school English teacher. She wrote a book
Yes.
called Light Between Us. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It
Have you
sounds
heard of it?
familiar.
The Light Between Us? I think you would get so much comfort from this book right now. It's so good.
Okay. Yeah.
Easy
Will
read
you
and
message it to me so that I don't forget?
yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, keep us in the loop. Let us know if you need anything, and we'll
Okay.
be back next week. So, those who are like on the replay, or if you're still working through stuff and you need some support, we'll be here same time, same place. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank
All
you.
right. Love to you, girl. Hang in there.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Emma.
Mm-hmm.
So, those who are feeling like your gifts really bubbling up and these energies and just wanting to go deeper, reach out if you have questions about the energy healing training or the course. When you step into this kind of work, you are called a little bit deeper. And while, of course, I would love to talk about all the happy things, but you know, these are topics that like people are struggling with, and it doesn't serve any of us to sweep them under the rug. So reach out if you need support, need one-on-one help or guidance. Thank you, Emma and Allison and Carly and Mandy and everyone who was on here, and Jeff, just to be with us and walk through this with us. So we'll have another topic, whatever you guys need next week, send me a message, and I'll see you then.